And I want to raise some big questions. Is the terror really homegrown or is it being sponsored from across the border? Can the Jaish-e-Mohammed, which many believe is behind this, pull off an attack without Pakistan Army's ISI aid? Are they all in it together? How should India respond, given that Indian or sources have said an act of terror must be treated as an act of war after Operation Sindoor? Joining me now, SP Vaid, former IPS officer, ex-DGP J&K, KC Singh, former distinguished diplomat, and Lt Gen Satish Dua, former GOC 15 Corps. I want to come to each of you. KC Singh, you go first. How do you see what you just heard from Omar Abdullah? Stop villainizing every Kashmiri, and that, in a sense, is not the way to deal with a terror blast. Your first response.
He's absolutely correct, Rajdeep. Nowhere in the world you saw the Americans fail in Afghanistan using just force. We saw in Punjab that KPS Gill Ribeiro could not succeed when there was president's rule. Only with Beyant Singh, once Beyant Singh was there, KPS Gill was successful. Because the battle, security battle, has to be combined with a reaching out to the minds and hearts of people. Without that, you cannot take away the basic cause of alienation. You can't be just using security argument. And I think you're absolutely right. I think time has come where you have to talk about statehood. You can't keep postponing it. So that is the logic of counterterrorism and the experience of the last 30, 40 years in India and abroad, that it does not work unless you reach out to the people, unless you have a political move in combination with the security one.
But I want to come back to the P factor, which is Pakistan. General Satish Dua, we saw after Operation Sindoor, the government took a very tough stand and said, we are going to target Pak-based terror groups. Now, every indication is that Jaish-e-Mohammed has regrouped and is using these terror modules. Do you believe that as long as Pakistan continues to play mischief across the border, whatever we do, try to win hearts and minds, there will always be elements who will be used in these terror ops?
The short answer, Rajdeep, is yes, I do. I do believe that it will always happen because Pakistan, if I may use the colloquialism, it's a failed state. And to distract their population from their internal turmoil, their financial difficulties, their political instabilities and other issues, they have to use the India bogey. And this is what they do best. And Kashmir is the glue that binds Pakistan. I mean, a child in Pakistan is taught Kashmir banega Pakistan. He doesn't have an idea of what Kashmir is or where Kashmir is. So with that as a backdrop, I think, and how they got a drubbing in Operation Sindoor recently, they will continue to do some things like this. And this is the time they have upped the ante, they've widened the scope, and they've actually attacked, this attack has taken place in Delhi, or there was a bigger conspiracy, but one such explosion took place 3 days ago. So what is happening now is that they are trying to attack at the symbol of nationalism. They are upping the ante. You know, Red Fort attack in Delhi by itself is bad enough. Then attack at Red Fort, or if it was Parliament or any other such place, that is more important to us. So to that extent, it grabs more eyeballs, more attention, and has to be treated as an act of terror. We've already stated, you mentioned it, is going to be treated as an act of war, and I'm sure there will be some bold responses. We'll have to wait and watch what the leadership does.
You know, SP Vaid, there is this entire debate which has taken place over years, homegrown terrorists versus foreign terrorists. Now, every indication is what happened in Pahalgam was done by terrorists across the border, but there were people who obviously also sheltered them within the valley. Now, in this particular instance, the modules which are being busted are of Kashmiris who've lived in the valley and moved to Delhi and other places. Can we make that distinction between homegrown or foreign, or do they merge with Pakistan's army, ISI state running the show? Whether it's homegrown or foreign, they are the masterminds.
Rajdeep, good evening to you and my co-panelists and your viewers. You absolutely rightly said that Pahalgam was executed by Pakistani terrorists who came from across the border and did the bidding, did the work at the bidding of Pakistan ISI, properly monitored, directed, trained to do what they did in Pahalgam on the basis of religion segregation and then shot them. Here, very shrewdly, to avoid that Pakistan directly gets the consequences of what it saw in the month of May, they have chosen the local boys, which are all, this is the white, what you call white collar doctors module, terror module. They have chosen our own boys within our own country. They have chosen the explosive, which is available here. There's no need to send trained terrorists from across, send the weapons from across. They have this time done this with a lot of planning. It's not done over just in few days' time. I think they have taken time, planned it. Doctors have been targeted,
Right.
then radicalized, taken to Turkey, wherever the handler have met them, and then placed them in places where they wanted, because they were actually frustrated that since 2014, they were not able to do any major terror act in the heartland of India, including the capital. And with Asim Munir's renewed,
So
yeah, 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 Rajdeep.
you seem to suggest, therefore, that this was well planned and is a change in strategy, and it involves KC Singh, Asim Munir, general, becoming the dominant figure of Pakistan. Many of these handlers have possibly got Turkish connections. Investigations are revealing. We also live in an age where technology is being used, some of the apps that are being used. It almost seems as if we are now facing a new possible brand of terror with links not just to Pakistan but even possibly to Turkey and other places.
Look, Rajdeep, I think the geopolitics has changed, and Pakistan's positioned itself in a very advantageous location, because America has become neutral. It's being even-handed. They won over Trump. If you have Munir, the first chief of staff of Pakistan, going and having a lunch with the American president, things have changed. They are not the same. So we have a deterrence. BJP has had a deterrence policy since Balakot. We were told that Balakot has ensured that they will not do it. If they do it, we'll do Balakot plus. Now they did Pahalgam, and we did Balakot plus. Now they've done it even at a higher level. In fact, we are lucky that the security agencies managed to handle it. Otherwise, you would have had a much, much bigger, much wider chaos than we have seen at the moment. Now, that is an indication that they are testing you and testing your deterrence policy. Because now, if you notice, BJP has not jumped and said it's from Pakistan, we'll teach them a lesson, because they realize immediately Trump will jump in. Trump may come in and say, no fighting, because he already said, I stopped the fighting last time. A deal with US is incomplete. We've not been meeting between Prime Minister and President is not there. Pakistan is exploiting it. They are seeing, let's test India and see what is it. Will they follow up? Because it was said after Operation Sindoor, next attack will be taken as an act of war. Well, there is the next attack. So are we taking it as an act of war? I had said that time that we should not provide to the militants alternatives like this, where you're giving the option to the militant to start a war between India and Pakistan. It's not wise to say that the next time it happens, we will do this. That means the militant can then decide, these boys decided, that let's start a war between India and Pakistan.
Okay, I'm just going to give you Satish Dua, General Dua, 30 seconds to just say, should we treat this as an act of war or remain restrained till the investigation is complete and all the links have been brought in place? Because this seems to be a much wider network at work. That should be the first aim, bust the network. A quick response.
I agree with you that first we need to make sure that we tie up all the ends. We are very sure that we tie up all the ends, and we are very sure that it has been perpetrated by a terrorist organization like Jaish-e-Mohammed, or as it appears now, whichever organization, and backed by ISI handlers. Once that is proved, I think we have no option to treat it as a high profile terror attack and then take whatever response that the government decides in keeping with the stand that we have already taken. What that response will be will have to be left to the political and the military leadership here.
Well, that's the question. Should it be a kinetic response or a step-by-step response? Are we on a dangerous escalatory ladder? And is Pakistan, as KC Singh pointed out, trying to exploit the situation by encouraging these sleeper cells to get reactivated in a way? I appreciate all my guests joining me on the show tonight.